What's up, everybody? Welcome to Rock Top Sports Talk. This is your boy Coach Rice. On this episode, we're going to talk about the fall camp and review what's going on, what's happened through that, and then also preview the rest of what we expect fall camp to be like and the upcoming, the start of the season. We're going to go through some positions, what we think's been going on, what we've been hearing, and then also do some predictions of who we think's going to being the two deep and what we think. I know we've been hit with some injuries, and we'll talk about that. And that obviously plays a role. And then obviously the big question that everybody and has been talking about, and what everybody's been wanting to know, who's going to be QB1, is going to be a big topic of what we talk about. So let me get my guys in here. I got Tom and I got Joey. Let's see. Joey lost connection. He'll be right back. So let me add Tom to the stage and let's get this show
Woo!
on the roll. What's up, boss?
Oh my goodness, I'm so ready for football. What's up with you?
Man, just another day in paradise, uh, working and, you know, doing my girlfriend, her kids, and shout out Kaylin. She's going to get a kick out of that because I told her I'd shout her out. And then, getting ready for football,
Oh yeah.
doing Lord knows what, just trying to kill time until football season. I told her the other day, we've been bracing her, my whole family. It's kind of funny, they've been bracing her for Tennessee football season. They like my family, my friends, everybody has been braced. Like, you sure
Yeah.
you're supposed to get Jonathan during Tennessee football season, are you going to be able to handle it? And well, of course, we always get a crack out of that, but she's amazing, so I think she'll be just fine. Here's the negative: she's a Georgia fan, but the face I made.
What?
But I've got her wearing some Tennessee orange here and there, and
Okay.
she said I'm gonna wear a Georgia shirt. So I said, babe, I will be in a grave 6 foot deep before I ever throw on a Georgia shirt.
I think
Let me turn this sound off.
yeah, y'all would have to drag me out into the backyard and put two in the back of my head before you could get my body
It's
in.
second that,
Yeah.
second that. It's just, yeah. I've been trying to tell her, but
Oh
she's
man.
amazing. So, man, hey, you've had a lot going on, haven't you?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah. So the twins are what, 14 weeks, something like that now.
Yeah,
So yeah,
I
it's
know that. I know that feeling, brother. I
whew,
mean,
yeah.
it's. I know. I've only had to do one baby growing up. Raising him, but
Yeah.
having twins, I know that's a lot.
Hey,
I've
it's cool though. If I can get this picture to load up into my, I've been fighting with this thing. I'm trying to get this picture to load up here because I don't have that backdrop thing going on like I usually do.
Yeah.
There we go. There we go. Look at my little man here. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh, lower it just a little bit. So cute.
I don't know if you can tell, but
That's a future Vol right there, baby.
he's got that orange on.
Yeah, I see it. I see it. That's awesome. That is amazing. So hopefully Joey will be able to get in here in a second. We'll get this show on the road. I'm just kind of killing some time so Joey can get in here. But
Nice.
while we're waiting, I saw Lynn in the chat. Say what's up, guys. Good to see you. What's
What's
up,
up,
man?
man?
Hey, you're always here. We love having you on in the chat and bringing some topics and anything questions you may have. And then I saw Nancy. I think she's new to the show. I haven't seen her before, so gave us a thumbs up. That's amazing. Great way to start the show. If you don't know, this is a show that we just started this last year. It's kind of it's had its up and downs. We're trying to manage timing and everything with three guys that are full time worker, and four guys. Big Mike's not able to make it tonight, but we try to work it in when we can. During football season, obviously, we're going to have our preview show of each game, and then we'll have our recap show, twice a week. But outside of football season, people got priorities, and twins for Tom. I got priorities, and then other things. This is just guys that want to come on here, get to talk, because Tom lives in North Carolina.
Virginia.
Virginia.
I
Sorry,
wish we
Virginia.
lived
I
in
knew
North
I knew it was
Carolina with the
Virginia.
way things are going, man.
Yeah, Virginia. And then we're at different parts of West Tennessee, so we just like to get on here and have our opportunity to talk Tennessee football. And that's Thomas's aunt. Why didn't you tell me it was your aunt?
There we go. Now
Oh,
you can
there's the
see it.
twins.
Yeah.
There's the twins.
I got them wearing the right stuff every day.
That's awesome.
But yeah, so she's the only person in the world, well, other than my grandma, who calls me Thomas.
Well,
So,
hey, yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's
no, I
awesome.
like it. It's endearing. It's endearing. It's
I
like
love it. I love
it's
it.
like they're the only two people that do that. So I'm gonna miss that. But yeah.
So he might not have realized it was you, Miss Nancy. So, yeah, we're gonna have a fun show. I'm looking forward to talking about this roster and what's looking like in the first 2 weeks of fall camp. There's lots of promise going that's being flooded into the sports media world, especially the Tennessee sports media world, about this offense. There's a lot of positives when it surrounds the QB room. Both guys, George McIntyre and Faison Brandon, kind of battling each other. They're all summer. Tom, it was like it's Faison's job. I mean, me and Big Mike, and of course Joey and Tom, you kind of just bust in there and try to ruffle the feathers, but we were talking talking about how it's Faison's job.
Yep.
Well, GMAC said, hold on. I'm gonna have my opportunity at fall camp and try to turn the tables, and for the first week and a half, that was the story. GMAC came in, was looking good, very in in phase with the offense. There we go. In phase with the offense. Faison wasn't having a bad camp. It's just GMAC was looking really, really good, especially much better than he was in the spring. And look at this. Hey, from the girlfriend that bleeds red and black. Oh my gosh. Love you, babe.
I said boo, but welcome.
What'd you say?
Boo, but welcome.
Ban. No,
hey, look for real. At least she's not a Bama fan, okay? If she was a Bama
that's
fan,
what I told her. As long as she's not is not a Bama or a Florida fan,
yeah,
we can. As I said, our house may be a house divided on game day if Tennessee plays Georgia, but we'll see. We'll see when that time comes. Thankfully, we don't play them this year. So, but Joey, what we're getting into, we're talking about the early, talk of early fall camp. There's been obviously the quarterback competition, but there's been lots of buzz surrounding this offense, the offensive line, the running backs, the wide receivers, a couple tight ends making a name for themselves, not named Ethan Davis, because he's been out first week and a half. That's something we'll get to as we get to the show. And then some people making some plays on defense. The injury plague has happened on the defensive side of the ball.
Yep.
So we'll get into that. But I'm going to give it over to y'all two real quick. What's your first thoughts on the first 2 weeks of fall camp?
Man, I'm glad that I'm at least hearing that things are more physical, because the last few years I just have been mad as a wet chicken over them not hitting. And I know people are going to, we're already starting to see it. We're already starting to see with the injury to Idris Farouk, which is horrible. They weren't even hitting when that happened. Okay. So anybody that's going to say the more you hit, the more injuries you get during practice. Look, I played football my whole life and coached it. And I'm telling you, if you don't hit, that's why you get hurt later on, is because you don't know how to hit. So that argument, let's just get that out the way right now. Okay. But they are being more physical, and I like it. I like what I'm hearing about Derek Owens with the weight program, cutting the bad fat, getting the good muscle. I'm stoked, man. I'm stoked. Yeah. I'm so ready for some Tennessee football.
Yeah. I mean, it's Derek Owens, and that's something we're going to get into. And I love that you brought up the physicality of what this off season's this first part of fall camps look like. I think we've missed that. I know you've been a hammerhead on it through the last couple of years, saying we weren't physical enough in practice, weren't physical enough in fall camp. I think you're starting to see an effect in which Derek Owens and this new defensive staff has brought to Tennessee. I think it bleeds physicality. So, Joey, what's your thoughts on the first 2 weeks of fall camp?
I like what I'm hearing. Everything that is coming out. You know, I'm pretty pumped about.
Yeah.
Even though I'm gonna add Kalen to my prayer list. Yeah, you see what's on my good things wall right here. That's me and my wife. She bleeds orange now as well.
Nice. Wait, did you convert her? Was she like a ACC fan or something?
No, so she was really just a baseball fan, and she has learned the importance of Tennessee football.
Yeah. It happens quickly.
Yeah, she said, I remember, and this is no joke, I remember she said, I didn't know that we would have to cancel other things during football season.
Hey, Kaylin, I know you're watching and listening. Say that for me one more time, Joey.
Yeah, she didn't realize that we would cancel other things. And, like, no joke, all right, I love my church. I pastor. It's my calling. I'm all in on it. We were scheduling our fall fest for this year, and it's on our bye week. Anyway.
Second that. Amen, brother.
Yeah, that's the number one thing we look at when we start scheduling stuff in the fall. No, I'm kidding, but I'm kind of not kidding. But anyway, bless you, Kaylin. May the Lord richly touch your heart.
Yeah.
So I do believe that things are going well. Excited about it. Looking forward to the season. I'm not going to be able to stay on long. I got to go eat supper. Me and my wife, it's been a long day, very long day.
Yeah.
But wanted to hop on here real quick. I'm excited about all things. Everybody, if you've watched our show at all, you know that I'm a GMAT guy. If he's not the guy, fine. I want whoever's going to win ball games to be in there. So I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be young talent regardless of who's in there.
Mm-hmm.
Liking what I'm hearing about TK Keys. I mean, dude is so far as advertised. We need to get Davis right though. He's going to be essential to our game across the middle of the field. We seen what he's capable of in the later part of the season last year. But more than anything else, I was excited to hear that 50% of Saturday scrimmage they focused on tackling.
Yep.
I was like, whoa, that's crazy.
Repeat por favor.
Yeah, so 50%. I mean, I read it multiple times. So 50% of the scrimmage was focused on tackling. And if you watched our games last year, we were bad. We were really, 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 really bad at tackling. Yeah. I think our defense might surprise people. I think it's a little under the radar. I got some hope. I got some hope there. Of course, I'm a Tennessee fan, so I'm going to have hope. But I think that it's going to be fun. I think that our run game is going to dominate the SEC again.
Mm-hmm.
With the offensive line, we got three dudes right now that can just flat out do it.
Yeah.
And so I'm looking forward to that. Casey, I'm going to be there the first week too. I'll be at the first game. the Furman game. Anyway, looking forward to it this season. Looking forward to getting back going live with you guys. I got to cut out early tonight, but as always, go Vols.
Oh yeah, see you, brother.
See y'all.
So
I hope they're having fried chicken. I don't know what they're having for supper, but after we do this, he's talking about having supper, and I'm thinking about the fried chicken I got.
There you go. I don't know what I'm going to eat either, but but yeah, going back to Casey's point, actually, what we're we're looking forward to this. Joey's actually going to be at a pastor's conference up in Knoxville, so we may be able to get him on a show. But actually going to the game, he's not going to be able to make it to the game. But me, Tom, and Big Mike, and I know my girlfriend is going, and I don't know if anyone else. I think Big Mike's got a buddy and his wife going. But we're going up to Knoxville for the Auburn game, October 3rd. Is it October 3rd? Yeah, October 3rd. We're going to do a pregame show wherever we're tailgating, and then we'll do a post-game show, hopefully in Neyland. I think that would be epic. It may be like a 20-minute show, but that would be freaking amazing.
That would be sick.
That I feel like that'd be amazing. It may be on our phones, but it is what it is. You got to do what you got to do. So
let's do that.
I'm looking forward to that. We've been talking about that since early in the spring, and then we bought tickets, which I still got to pay you for
years. No, we've been talking about that for years. You bought all the
tickets. I still got to give you mine and Kaylin's ticket money, but overall being said, that I'm looking forward to going to maybe 2 games. I'm that's still up in the air. Me and her trying to see what we got going on. But it's football season. It is football season, baby. We got less than 3 weeks till Tennessee kicks off against Furman. The best time of the year. I was telling somebody at work the other day, you cannot beat a fall Saturday morning when college football is about to kick off, whether you're a Tennessee fan or some other fan. You got some team. Please back up, Tom. All I see is your face.
Sorry. I was trying
to look like just the head. It was weird.
My eyesight is so bad, and I was trying to figure out which of these 2 schedules, because I was trying to pull the schedule up.
Yeah, I got you. But yeah, we're got several things that we're wanting to get done for the show next week. I told the guys we are gonna have a record prediction show, go game by game, and then hopefully we'll know by next week after this Saturday, because they're having that second scrimmage Saturday. Next week when we go live, we may know QB1 by that point. It was this time last year after that second scrimmage when Josh Heupel announced that, or actually as Austin Price came out and said Joey Aguilar has been given QB1. So looking forward to that. Tom, I know I've got your first thoughts on your early thoughts on fall camp. We got 3 major injuries. There's some knickknacks that are going on. Gabriel Senda's got a boot on. There's another offensive lineman that had a boot on. Gage Ginther had a boot on. But those are injuries that they feel like they could come back, be back by the Texas game, maybe a little sooner. Which I hate that for Osenda and Ginther, because the Furman game and Kennesaw State games would have been great for depth, growing and seeing what they can do for us. But on the defensive side of the ball, we had 3 major injuries, 2 that really I feel like really is going to affect us, and then 1 that will affect us on special teams, and a linebacker that was trying to really grow into the system. The first one we're going to talk about, Jaden Harmon, linebacker, second-year linebacker. someone I feel like that, made some strides last year, was going to be a depth piece this year. Really back in the depth chart, but play a lot of special teams. He tore his ACL, I think. And then Jadius Richard, cornerback, transferred from Miami this last year. He was the first of the major injuries. He did something to his shoulder.
I didn't even
working
know that.
out, working out on his own. He's going to be out of eligibility, unfortunately, with this new 5-for-5 rule. So he's going to be out of eligibility. That's a cornerback. He was going to probably be our number 4 cornerback. So that hurts because you got to have depth there. Yeah. And then the biggest one I feel like of all, Idris Farouk, dislocated kneecap, torn patella tendon. Nothing nerve damage wise or anything else, but all 3 guys will miss the entire season. But Farouk, he was going to be a starter. He was doing great things in the Jim Knowles system. Jim Knowles and Poindexter, the safety and co-defense coordinator, were glowing about Idris Farouk. It's unfortunate that he had this injury. Coming from a guy that's dislocated his kneecap himself, I know how this injury is. It's not you get it's therapy, and I never tore my patella tendon, so added that to it. That's a lot of therapy going forward. But let me pull up Casey's chat here. Heard this O-line will dominate. That's what I'm going to let Tom talk about this.
We hope.
We're physically getting into what we thought so far the early camp about each position group. And I know Tom's going to be glowing about this offensive line because that's all I've been hearing too is glowing remarks about this offensive line and the consistency of it and the strength of it. So let's start offense. Well, I'm going to let you talk. Go first. Talk about this offensive line and why you think so far through camp it's been good, and why do you think it's going to continue to be great going forward?
Well, I think we have 19 offensive linemen, 18 offensive linemen. That just makes my socks roll up and down on their own. That's awesome in itself. But the strength and conditioning program, if I remember correctly, now this is wild, y'all. If this is accurate, if I can remember this right, because my memory is horrible, but this seems to stick out in my mind. The offensive line average have lost 10 pounds of bad fat.
Yeah.
That is huge, okay, because your offensive line's got to be world beaters. They got to be, just eaters. Like you just want them to eat everybody up that they come across. And I mean, if they're hitting it in the weight and the eating right and all that stuff and working out right and getting the good habits and all that kind of stuff, that's great, because we do have some upperclassmen offensive linemen. I mean, this is sinful for me to say as a Tennessee fan. I'm not sold yet on David Sanders, but he's got the size. And what the coaching staff says and the people who have been let in and watch him practice have said that he's grown mentally with his knowledge of the system and how they want to do things. That's great. Okay. I really expect a lot out of him this year because he was what, the second best or the best recruit, maybe the second.
He was the number 2 recruit. He was the number 5 recruit and the number 1 offensive lineman.
There you go. I mean, he's going to be expected to do some serious stuff. But the guy that I love the most in this offensive line, Wendell Moy or Mo, however you say his last name, Moy, dude is just an absolute animal.
Monster. Yeah,
and I really like Nick Moore. I know he's young, but Jefferson County, shout out. Dude's just an animal. He's got the size 6'3", I don't know, 315, something like that. And then you've also got the absolute animal, the guy that was I mean, last year, I know he wasn't 100%, and they had been switching him around at different places over the last year before that. But Shamarad
Umarov,
yeah, he should actually eat someone this year. Like, he could actually sit down and eat a Georgia defensive lineman. Like, I'm hoping, or well, we don't play. Well, let's hope that we do play Georgia.
Yeah, in the playoff.
How would that work out? Yeah, but I mean, if we're
yeah,
playing Georgia,
I don't even want to talk about that.
but no, I mean, he actually could, and I mean, so you got some other upperclassmen that have been. My favorite thing about this offensive line, y'all, this is irreplaceable. The experience that they have. Yeah. It's good experience, first off, because they've been through the ringer since 2022, I would say. Some of these guys got a little bit of playing time when they were underclassmen. That was great because we were blowing the doors off people. They weren't quality snaps then, but in 2023 and last year, if you're a fifth-year senior in this offensive line, which 3 of them are, Umarov,
Moy's a fifth-year senior.
Somebody else, they got the experience, man. They do, and they've been at different positions. Sam Pendleton played. What he played a little bit of center and guard at Notre Dame because he came in for the guy that was like all-world guard. I remember that, and he played in 10 games with Notre Dame that year, and he played every game last year with us. He's healthy this year too. Sam Pendleton, I know a lot of people gave him a little bit of some flack last year because let's be honest, he did get beat once or twice, and it actually did wind up ruining some drives. But he wasn't 100%, and there's no way that coming from one place to another in big boy football like this, going from Notre Dame to Tennessee, completely different offenses, you're not going to be able to get everything immediately. And he started last year just because of his physical talent and his knowledge of the game and his disposition. I mean, I could just keep going on and on, but the offensive line should absolutely roll like a steam truck. I mean, we should absolutely roll. And if they can do that, dude, it doesn't matter which quarterback wins the battle because we're going to be running the ball. I would say Deshaun Bishop gets 20, 22 touches a game, something like that.
Much like the 2024 season where Dylan Sampson was getting 20 to 25 touches a game.
Yeah, man.
And then you had the stable of backs behind them.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I'm right there with you. I like this offensive line. You're looking at what you're looking at right now. You got David Sanders at left tackle. You can pencil that in, or actually you can pin that in because that's unless injury, Lord forbid. You got Wendell Moy at left guard. That's another one you can pin in. Sam Pendleton at center. That's another one you can pin in. And then Jesse Perry will start.
Mm-hmm. Jesse
He will either start at right guard or right tackle. Here's the thing. Here's the flip-flop thing you could do. If Jesse Perry starts at right guard, it will be Ori Williams, this is the lineup I feel like we will go with because it's an offensive line. It's a long SEC schedule. You're gonna have to move guys around.
Yep.
But the first 5 going out against Furman, I feel like it's going to be Jesse Perry at right guard, and then the big transfer, Ori Williams from LSU, the 6'8", 345 tackle from LSU. Dude, I saw a video of him and David Sanders doing zone blocks up on blocking. That poor thing didn't stand a chance. I mean, you had 2 massive 6'6", 6'8", 340 plus, 335 plus guys pushing that thing back into the wheelhouse. So
I forgot he is actually bigger than Sham, isn't he?
Oh, that dude Ori Williams is massive, and then. You got a couple depth pieces. You got Sham, who could start at either guard spot and then as well at tackle. Then you have Nick Moore, who you mentioned. They really like the way he is developing as the backup center. And then you have Donovan Haslam, the transfer from West Virginia. who Glenn Ellerby said the other day, which he never had Trey Smith, but he said this is the most physical, insane offensive lineman he's ever coached.
I forgot about Haslam too.
They said he looks to kill people. Like he wants to put somebody in the ground. He's just he transferred here late. He's getting into the system. He's trying to pick up speed on learning because Glenn Ellerby's got a very complicated run game system and scheme. So that would be the two guys that I see behind those first five, and then Nick Moore being the eighth guy. I feel like if we had to, Wyndham or Jesse Perry would slide into center if we had to. But Nick Moore is getting better and better each time. And then you talk about guys like Jeremiah Hurd, Gabriel Senda is making a lot of buzz go around in camp. And with the true freshman that just came in from Baylor School, shout out DGG. That's where he's going to be coming from. The future All-American running back at Tennessee.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then so you put all those guys together. You think about the talent that's there. You're talking. You think of big things, big possibilities. Now we're going to get into the wide receiver room and the tight ends. We're kind of mix those. Tom, just first thoughts. While you go on about that, I'm going to run downstairs and get me a water because my throat's
nice.
So
I was going to
say the wide receivers and tight end.
Oh, I'm talking about the offensive line some more, brother. I don't know what you're talking about. No. So for anybody that cares to know, because I was talking to a good buddy of mine about this the other day, he was saying, oh, well, we're top heavy on the offensive line, meaning upperclassmen. And I was like, no, man, look, we have Gabriel Ascenda, Nick Moore, like we were talking about before. Okay, Nick Moore's a sophomore. And I just pulled up the roster here. We still have Ed Baker, underclassman, Kamari Blair, huge recruiting get in the last cycle. That was tremendous. So we do have some very highly sought after guys that, I mean, Georgia, Ohio State, Alabama, you know all the names. They wanted those guys too. But we can talk about the fancy pants. Look, this is something wide receiver groups. The last, I would say, 3 years, at least 4 years, we have had so many receivers with talent. Oh yeah, you get that orange color.
Got to be orange, guys.
Got to be orange. Look, now you got to make the transition from Gatorade to Powerade because just the word Gatorade it hurts my head, man.
But hey, sorry.
Look, so
I don't like Powerade. So
do you ever watch hockey?
That much? No, I don't.
Okay, in hockey, they have what are called line rotations. Okay.
Yeah, well, I know that. I know the knowledge of hockey,
and it's a point of pride in hockey that. And it used to be like this in football. So shout out to Jim Dent, one of the greatest sports writers. He wrote Junction Boys, The Undefeated, For the Love of the Game. A lot of great sports books. Talked about back in the day where the either offense or defense, they were one platoon. You know, it was that both sides of the ball, you know, and quarterbacks, your safety, all that kind of stuff. It's a point of pride in hockey still to this day, although football, it hasn't stayed that way. We have so many daggone quality receivers with natural athletic ability.
Yeah.
So you could have Staley, Matthews, and either
Keys, Smith
or Jackson, who I remember 3 years ago, you were right, but he hasn't been healthy. Rah, man, like the dude.
Oh, he's insane.
if he was healthy last year, I swear he would have made a huge contribution, but he wasn't healthy. And yes.
Casey says it here. He said,
yeah.
I heard Rad Jackson is actually the most talented wide receiver on the team. He has struggled with drops, as has Brame. Matthews has been money in all of camp.
Yeah.
You can add Matthews, which through the last couple of years, he struggled with drops too.
Yep.
Hey, I'll go ahead and tell you, Matthews, you add him to the Biletnikoff list. I'm calling it now.
The watch
he will
list.
be a Biletnikoff finalist.
Yeah.
This year. I'm calling now.
He very well may. And I mean, Braylon Staley, look, this could be one of the coolest seasons to watch as a Tennessee fan. If the offensive line can give Mac or Brandon time and we run the ball effectively, we have two receivers that had 800
plus yards last year.
And they both had, I think, 6 tutties. I think Staley might have had like 7 or something like that. I mean, these two guys, even though they're a class apart, they're very good friends. I know I watch everything Tennessee football, and from what I hear is that they pal around, which is great. They're good friends. They're competitive as hell. And they're going to drive one another to, hey, man, I'm pulling away from you. I got 2 this game, like that kind of thing. I'm so looking forward to seeing the two of them on either side of the ball, because you're going to have one on either side. They are not going to be on the same side of the field most of the time. So you've got a killer dynamite option on either side. Oh, hey, Big Mike.
There's Big Mike. He was able to hop in. Nobody's talking about Joakim Dotson. He's quietly had a nice camp so far. I was going to get to him, Big Mike. Trust me, I had him written down. He has had a really nice camp so far. And when Tom was going to get through, I was going to go through all the receivers and kind of look at the depth chart, perspective. But yes, great point there, Big Mike. Go ahead, Tom.
But what I was going to say with that whole hockey thing, I know everybody's like, where was he going with that? We could have 3 entire lines of 3 receivers. And I don't know why Josh Heupel has not done that up until this point. Like,
because of the tempo.
And if you can grasp the tempo, excellent. Put a whole line together. Let's just say, for the sake of argument here, or for the sake of example, we don't know who number 3 is going to be until probably, like you said, after next weekend, when they
probably after next weekend.
But you could have Braylon Staley, Mike Matthews, and let's just call it at Travis Smith Jr. Let's say Travis.
That's who I'm choosing right now.
And then
he's had the best fall camp so far.
And as a second line, you could have Ra, Keys, and Dodson.
Joakim. Yeah.
And that second line right there, Keys being a true freshman, Dodson, I think he's a junior. I can't remember.
Sophomore,
even better, more time to grow. And then Rad Jackson, I know he's a sophomore. Those 3 guys, a true freshman and 2 sophomores, if you put those 3 guys on any other SEC team, they're getting a lot of reps. They are.
Well, let me throw one more at you. Tyreek King.
Oh,
he's another one that's getting buzz at camp. He's had a few drops, but they said that dude's a touchdown every time he gets the ball.
And he's from Knoxville, so that's even better. Like, apparently he's speedy as hell. And
they said he's one of the fastest guys on the team. Shifty too.
I know he's coming in, but Cooper, I can't remember what his first name is. Cooper, like Jamari Cooper or Jamoli Cooper or something.
You've lost me.
I followed his recruitment, and actually, I think you know who I'm talking about, because we had texted about him before. But I mean, that's a whole nother third line right there. That's a third line. Tyreek King, Cooper, and I've got twin tired mind. I can't remember. I just said.
I got you. We're past that.
But I mean, seriously, we could have 3 entire lines, and hey, that third line, maybe put them in for a series. The second line, give them 3 or 4 series, but the first line gets predominantly most of the series, right? But I mean, still, you could absolutely keep guys fresh. You could keep young players engaged in everything, because let's face it, at receiver, it's a star position. It's the oh well, you know what? I didn't get any playing time. I'm going to go to Arizona State next year because they're going to pay me $500,000 to go there, and they're going to give me every snap of the game. Like at receiver, you got to rotate guys, and I know Josh Heupel likes to keep guys in. Like, remember 2 years ago, they kept Squirrel in there, even though he pretty much had a broken shoulder at that point. I mean, no point in keeping a guy in a game like that. Like, he needs to rotate some guys out, but the receivers could be fine.
I agree with you. I think rotation is a good thing. It's depth building, especially early in these first few games. Josh Heupel has done that. The first few games every year he's rotated more than as he does the last 7 or 8 games of the season.
Mm-hmm.
But let me get to talking about the depth there. Mm-hmm. Joey had to sneak on here, says Mike is in here talking about quarterback situation. And we're going to get to the quarterbacks here in a little bit. But just breaking down the depth chart real quick, you got pin it in Braylon Staley, Mike Matthews as the slot receiver and the Z receiver.
Mm-hmm.
The third receiver is the the X receiver, and that could be either Travis Smith, Rad Jackson, or Tyreek Keys. Tristan Keys.
It could be either of those two guys too.
Yeah, Tristan Keys. So right now, throughout the first week and a half, 2 weeks of fall camp, Travis Smith has had the best camp out of the three. Now, all three, show flashes. Rad Jackson's probably the most knowledge of the offense, has the most experience. Obviously, Tristan Keys is a play waiting to happen. He makes plays all the time, but he's young. He's still learning the offense. He's still trying to because he took half of the first week off because he was trying to, they were being precautious with him. Mm-hmm. And Travis Smith, they said, has had a really strong fall camp so far. Then you got slot guys. You got Braylon Staley, obviously your starter, but then you can switch in and out. Joakim Dotson, who B. Mike, as we recall earlier, said is having a very, very strong fall camp. You hear from Austin Price and Brent Hubbs all the time. He's catching touchdown passes every practice. So you love to hear that.
Love it.
And then Tyreek King is the other slot guy. Another guy that I don't want people to sleep on is Ian Duarte, the Idaho State transfer wide receiver. He's a slot guy. Special teams guy more than anything, but he has experience at the college level. He's caught a lot of passes, is very fast, is very flashy. So got 4 deep in the slot, and I love that because a couple years ago we were an ankle away from Braylon Staley getting hurt, and we were screwed.
Mm-hmm.
So then, like I said, at the other receiver, you can move Travis Smith, Tristan Keys, and Rad Jackson to give someone some rest. I like your rotation piece. I do think we need to rotate more, but I'm a strict 6 wide receiver guy, and that's it. You got your first line, you got your second line. You do anything of that, you're losing connection and chemistry with your quarterback.
Sure.
So you want to keep it at that. That's just my firm belief. Now let's get to the running backs. I'm gonna let you talk about the running backs. You got Deshaun Bishop, obviously pin him in. He's the preseason SEC All-American, third team or second team All-American. Then you have a load of stable of running backs behind him, and Justin Baker, DeWanye Morris, and Javen Gordon.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna let you talk about those 4 running backs and what they are going to do for Tennessee. What you've heard so far in camp.
And Hunter Barnes too. I know he probably hadn't been burning it up at the practices, and I don't really hear his name. But
he's a walk-on that's earned a scholarship.
Yes, I was.
But they do
right out
every
my mouth.
time they talk about the running back room, they always include him.
He's
worked his ass off to be on scholarship. So
those are the 2 guys that every Tennessee fan should absolutely just love Deshaun Bishop. The dude is who we want Tennessee players to be. You know, you bet on it yourself. You go to Tennessee, even though you knew you were going to be buried for a while. And last year was his breakout year. But yeah, Dewanye, I can't remember how to
Dewanye Morris.
Yeah, Morris and Gordon and Baker, those three guys, all three sophomores, all over 200 pounds. They're the Josh Heupel prototype running back, just like Deshaun Bishop. I think they're 5'10", 5'11", 6 foot, you know, but 200 plus pounds. That is what I'm talking about. You got guys that are going to be able to throw a block. Anybody who remembers Clinton Portis, I know he went to Miami and that was sinful, but Clinton Portis was one of the premier blocking tailbacks in the NFL and before that in college. That's the kind of stuff that I want. Yeah. Like Dylan Sampson was one hell of a tailback, but he couldn't throw a block to save his life. Yeah. And it was just because, like, some guys can do it and some guys can't. And it wasn't that he didn't want to. He absolutely tried to sacrifice his body a couple of times, and you could tell he just wasn't good at blocking. He couldn't get his hands in the right place. But, I mean, big, solid body tailbacks that can throw a block if they need to, and they can also split those carries. Like, I want Deshaun Bishop to get 25 touches per game, period. Like, but that's just because I would literally run the football the entire game, and I'd give Morris, Baker, and we just said his name a second ago, the other sophomore that we're talking about. I'd literally give those other three guys another 10 carries each, and we just say to hell with passing the football. Yeah. All the receivers are going to transfer out of it.
That would be you, Tom.
But seriously, I mean, you could, if you have to bully ball people with this offensive line. I wonder, though, this is the one speculation I have about our tailback room. Deshaun Bishop is not the fastest guy, but he is mammoth strong for 5'10". I think he's like 210, 215, something like that. But his vision is what kills defenses with Deshaun Bishop. That Mississippi State overtime touchdown, he waited for a good second to see where the hole was going to open. If he didn't wait for it, you go too early, you get tackled for a 6-yard gain. 6-yard gain, not bad. Touchdown's a lot better. And he got that tutty because he had the vision. I mean, I wonder how the other three guys, Baker, Morris, and the third guy that I literally cannot remember. Yeah, Gordon. I want to know what their vision's like. I want to know if they can see the hole develop, because you were mentioning Glenn Ellerby's got a complicated blocking scheme. This year, with the senior heavy, experience heavy, truly NFL size body. I'm not saying that these guys are going all to the NFL, but Wendell Moy's probably going to the league. I mean, unless a disaster happens. Yeah. Sam Pendleton, if he has a great year, going to the league, going to be a good backup piece for maybe 5 or 6 years and then get a couple of good years of starting. Those guys are not going to have to run traps, counter gaps, you know, all that kind of stuff, which I love. I want to see it because it kills defenses, but we're going to be able to ISO and inside-outside zone these guys down the field. We're not going to have to do the complicated crap that an undersized, underexperienced, undermanned offensive line has to do. Like, you look at a Navy or an Army or an Air Force, they run triple option because they have to, okay? Yeah. You look at Georgia Tech, they run that kind of offense because their offensive line, generally speaking, is undermanned, undersized, experience, all that stuff. We are not going to have to do that this year with these tailbacks, with the tight ends that we've got underneath, Deshaun Brain, Ethan Davis, like those kinds of guys. We're not going to have to do all that counter gap kind of scheme to get down the field. We're going to ISO, double team on the front side, maybe depending on what the defense lined up in, you get 2 double teams on every play. Like, that's going to be sick. And people might not like to watch it. 4 or 5 yards a carry, people might not like to watch it, but guess what 4 times 3 is? 12. I mean, it's absolutely going to be the running back show. And you've got two very young quarterbacks, one of whom we don't quite know if he's going to be able to let go of the football in time. So if he does barely, like, this is just for the sake of argument. Let's say Mac wins because he's got the experience. Okay. You're going to worry about
experience in the system.
You're going to worry about him holding on to the football. So what are we going to do? We're going to run the football. Yeah. And why change it up if you're running it for 5 and 6 yards of play behind a bully offensive line, you know? But I'm stoked about the tailbacks. The tailbacks.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think all 4 running backs are going to be solid. Obviously, Deshaun Bishop is king of the castle. He's going to be the 20 touches a game back, 18 to 20. I love what I've seen from Javen Gordon and Dewanye Morris and Justin Baker in camp so far, but especially Dewanye Morris. I know B Mike loves him some Javen Gordon, and I do too. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying from the highlights I've seen in camp, Dewanye Morris has made a name for himself on those highlight clips. Because and he's a little different than the other 3 backs. The other 3 backs are 6 foot, 5'11", 6 foot, 210, 215, 220, and look like freaking Popeye, the Sailor Man, about to take somebody's head off.
I saw that picture that he put in our text.
Justin Baker, Deshaun Bishop, and Javen Gordon they're unreal ripped.
Yep.
And that's a hat off to Derek Owens, what he does with his weight system and nutrition system.
That's right.
But Dewanye Morris is a little different. He's a little more shifty, someone that you can see used out the backfield in the passing game. He's probably the fastest of the 4 running backs. I think you can use those guys in different ways. Maybe for the first time this year, see some 2 running back sets, split sets, give a little extra protection in the backfield with your young quarterback. I know that's not a Josh Heupel, scheme thing that he likes to use, but Josh Heupel's always been known to scheme around where his strengths are.
Yeah.
And I feel like running back and offensive line are 2 of your biggest strengths. Now, obviously, wide receiver, especially those top 2 are real strengths on this team. But I think you're going to have a lot of grit and a lot of grind and a lot of showing out from that running back room, especially with that big, heavy, strong offensive line. And I do want to correct you on one thing, Tom, and I hate to do this, brother, but I go ahead and tell you, Josh Heupel's going to continue running power and counter. That's his bread and butter.
So
he loves the power scheme. He loves.
I love power scheme too, bro. Yeah.
You
just brought up a good segue. You just brought up something.
He'll use that tight end to fold in behind those guards, pulling and kicking. That's the reason why that tight end and H-back is so important, which I agree with you. H-back insert, H-back ISO, and being able to sneak those guys out of their ISO block and down the middle of the field. Josh Heupel does that a lot too. So you're not wrong. I'm just saying – he's still going to be using power and counter.
Well, he should. He should. Because you mentioned a minute ago, I can't believe I forgot this. This was one of the things that I wanted to talk about. With Morris, he is the water bug. I mean, he is the jukey back and forth. If he has that vision, we do run. We used to call it a power G block at Ferrum.
They still run that.
Yeah. So either that,
kick out the front side in.
Yep. Or you could call it like a fold block, like an outside fold or something like that, where and the Redskins used to do this. I mean, when growing up in the 90s, dude, I used to love watching the Redskins do this. And I love that Josh Heupel and Glenn Ellerbe do this as well. Now, they don't do it as much as I'd like to see, but pulling a guard and a tackle from on the play side to the play side outside, and you've got both guys pulling around a tight end. that is wild stuff. And if you put Dwanye Morris in there and he does get that jukey speed and he makes a guy miss, you get those 2 blocks on the outside, it's gone. Yeah. That would be so nasty. And they should save that kind of stuff for the right times, because they'll run cool stuff like the everybody remembers the Milton Keeper against, who was it, like UTSA?
It's just QB. Well, it's like the power play they ran with Aguilar against Georgia.
Yes,
the first series they'll run G power.
Nasty
down the goal line, where they kick out that front side guard and then lead the running back in there, and the quarterback follow up behind him. So
that's pure filth, man.
Yeah, I mean, that's G power. That's what that was. So, so now you have the strength of that you've had all the strength of what we've been talking about through the whole episode. Now we're going to get to what everybody wants to talk about, and that's quarterbacks. We may talk about defense real quickly, or we may save it for the next episode, because we're already getting close to an hour in. I figure this quarterback talk will take about 10 minutes. So, and like I said, I know Big Mike was very high on Javen Gordon. I do want to say to that as well. I think him and Dwanye Morris they're both going to get some carries. I really do. I think obviously Bishop's going to be your bell cow, but then them two will split. It may go off a hot hand, whoever has the hot hand that day. But let's get to the quarterbacks, FB and GMAC. You know, I kind of mentioned at the beginning the situation coming into fall camp. You know, all throughout summer, it was Faison's job. You know, he had the stronger spring camp, and the expectations, his expectations are on him. He's a generational type quarterback, potential wise. And he, you know, everything's riding on Faison. So we get in the fall camp. GMAC said, hold on, wait a minute. GMAC starts off fall camp great, shows a little better knowledge in the system, is not turning the ball over, is, you know, getting the ball, as Coach Heupel calls it, the communication, getting guys in the right spots, you know, being in the system, and you know, doing what he's supposed to do. And that to be said, Faison was not having a bad camp either. It's just GMAC was looking so much better than he was in spring camp, early in fall camp.
Yep.
But now, and that's where Austin Price came out last week, says GMAC's right back in this thing. In fact, he may have even, you know, kind of edged over Faison just a little bit. But now we get to the weekend scrimmage. And now you're hearing J.D. Piquel, you're hearing other people come out, Austin Price, Brett Hubbs, even hints at that the QB job may be on the boards, that Faison may have done enough to win the job in that scrimmage. Now, he won't say it. He won't say it because they still have one more scrimmage, but he was certainly hinting at it. You know, there's other message boards. There's other media, Rocket Top, Sports Insider, other groups that I don't talk about on this show, that even hinted at Faison being QB1. But, you know, there's a lot of that I like that I'm hearing about fall camp so far with these two quarterbacks. They're competing their asses off. They're doing what they're trying to put this team in a good spot for whichever quarterback that Josh Heupel decides. And you know, you love to hear that, because you know at the end of the day, there's only one quarterback. There's 5 offensive linemen. There's multiple runners. There's multiple wide receivers. You use multiple tight ends in some sets. There's always just one quarterback. Both of them are working their tails off. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I love it. I personally feel like, considering what we've heard about in the first scrimmage, what we heard about in the spring, and that they've been neck and neck, why not go with the higher upside, more potential guy in Faison Brandon? Now, granted, I'm not taking anything away from GMAC. I love what he's done so far. I've been messaging y'all in the chat saying, hey, word is GMAC's doing his thing. But out of the first scrimmage, GMAC was said was late, was a little bit more inaccurate than what Faison was. Obviously, the big wordage is that Faison was just making plays down the field,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what Josh Heupel's going to go to.
Mm-hmm.
I know. I see you in the chat, Tom.
I love them. I love them guys, man.
And that's another thing. You don't know until you get on the field on Saturdays who's a gamer and who's not.
Yeah.
You just do not know. No one knew Hendon Hooker was going to do what he's doing. No one knew what Josh Dobbs would do until he got out there to the field.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them sucked in practice.
And apparently
early in camp.
Yeah.
Especially early in fall camp. They were not good practice players. Whereas Joe Milton, you would have thought he was the greatest quarterback of all time at the end of the 2024 or 2022 fall camp.
Mm-hmm.
That's all that to be said. What's your thoughts on? I know what your thoughts are, but I want you to tell everybody else what your thoughts on this quarterback competition through 2 weeks of training camp, and what you expect, what you predict going forward.
Well, I know you didn't ask for my hopes and my dreams, but I hope that it is not one of those situations where it's been sewn up in a bag. Because if it is, then one guy, look, we're all human, okay? We put our pants on one leg at a time, but you're going to hang your head a little bit at some point, somewhere, somehow, that's going to bring your performance down a little bit, which means that you're not sharpening the other guy as much as you could if you keep your edge on, okay? And so what I want for these two guys is I want them to compete. And I know they pal around. That's good, okay? George, I'm not particularly worried about him holding on to the football as long because he's going to grow out of that. Okay. You're going to grow out of that after you get slobber knocked one good time, you're going to get rid of the football. Now, I think one of the big things that I'm very worried about is that we got Faison, who is supposed to be, like the king of sliced bread. He's like the brioche bun that you want, He has the body size. He has
iron sharpens iron, baby.
That's kicking. I like that.
That's one of my favorite shirts.
Hell yeah.
That's what we want.
Yeah.
That is what we want with this quarterback competition. Mm-hmm. I'll let you continue on.
What I really want, wait, hold on. Where was it? Oh, we got Faison. And I mean, I've not been at practice. I don't know these guys. I've not seen anything. Just from what we have been told, which is very little, relatively speaking, I'd put Faison Brandon out there and just be like, look, dude, grow up this year. We have a hell of an offensive line. We got a lot of depth at running back. We've got tight ends and wide receivers that are going to be there for you. I'd put him out there because what happens if George McIntyre, which I would also like this to happen as well, but it does create a problem down the road. What happens if GMAC goes out there and we go, let's be generous, because I don't think Heupel's capable of this. He may prove me wrong, and I hope he does, but I don't think so. But let's say, for the sake of example, that they go 8-4 regular. And the 4 losses are the ones that you expect. Maybe a tight loss at home to Texas, which I would take. I mean, I hate that, but Texas
I would take it too.
Texas
is
talented.
The most talented team in the nation this year.
And then you lose to Bama. You hate it because it's at home, but it is Alabama, and they've got talent too. And then you lose to LSU and Texas A&M. And let's just say, for the sake of the example here, that they're not bad losses. They're not 2015, 2013 type of getting blown out of the building.
3-point games.
7-point
games.
Maybe
1-score
a
games.
7-point. Yeah. And it wasn't because the team gave it away. It was literally just because the other guys on the other side made plays.
Yeah.
So let's say that we have a lot of excitement at the end of this year for the potential of what GMAC's got going on. Yeah. And where does that leave Faison Brandon in the whole equation? Like, you are paying him. Obviously, they're getting paid because we're in the immoral, unethical era of paying players. But then you get into a bad spot because Faison Brandon's not hanging around with that kind of a year that GMAC just put up. So then Faison Brandon's gone. But here's what I was getting at with this whole thing. Let's say that is GMAC's potential ceiling right there, okay? And you didn't get to see Brandon because GMAC was doing enough to stay out there, right? So then you lose a guy who had more natural potential than the other guy. The other guy just happened to be a year older and he didn't turn the football over. And then you create a spot where, okay, well, Faison Brandon's gone. So now GMAC, it wouldn't be the worst thing, but it could turn into one of those situations where it's like, you're going to lose one or the other. If you send Faison Brandon out there and he kills it because you're expecting him to kill it, and we have the talent around him, and Josh Heupel learned from his egregiously horrendous repeated mistakes that he's made in the last few years, and he learns from all of it, and Faison Brandon goes out there and wins 8 or 9 games in the same manner in which we were just contextualizing GMAC, that's just a better situation to me as an outsider looking in. Like, if I wasn't a Tennessee fan, if I didn't know anything about football, and I'm looking at those 2 situations that we just laid out, I'm picking the latter of the 2 situations as the better of the 2, just because, well, you know what, GMAC, you're an awesome guy. You're a good competitor. You're from Tennessee. Awesome. But you know what? Faison Brandon's just got it, and we have our guy. Yeah. And then you can go and you go from there. I mean, I
agree. I'm right there with you. There with you. I think you spot on. Obviously, you don't want to think about transfers, but in today's day and age, you got to pick the guy who gives you the best shot of win and worry about the rest later. Because coaches get fired quickly. People transfer on you like the coaches will leave quickly. Like it's right now. Obviously, you got to worry about recruiting the future, but you can't worry about the rest of it until after it's done. Like you just cannot worry about the GMAC transferring or Faison transferring. Whoever wins the job and goes out and does a gregreat job, takes us to a 8-4, 9-3 season. There's hope. There's prospects for being great. Going into 2027. You just got to roll with it. If one of them transfers, they transfer. You just gonna have to deal with it. You got Derek Baker coming up next year in the 2027 class, who's freakishly athletic, who I'm looking forward to. He's a 3-star, but he will be a 4-star here soon. He's super talented down there at Milton, Georgia High School. He's going to be special, I feel like, too. But my guy, I feel like Faison is going to give you the higher profile, the higher ceiling. Now he may give you a lower floor because he's a freshman. He's a true freshman.
Yeah.
But to me, I feel like they keep it warm for Marshall Manning. That's a good one, Joe. The freshman in high school. Yeah. There's so many things that you could go, here, there, and everywhere with the quarterback competition. Josh Heupel, we as fans got to trust Josh Heupel that he's going to put the best guy out there to give us the best shot to win. Now, as Joey said earlier, he did pick Milton over Hooker, but that was pre-games. Once the games got going, he obviously left Hooker in there, and the rest was meant to be. Milton was a great practice player. No one ever knew that he would be overthrow Joe come get game time. So, which I thought 2020, I thought he played better than Nico did in 2024.
Yeah.
I thought he had better numbers. I thought he made bigger plays at bigger times. Now, I personally hate the guts out of Nico for more than one reason than one. But there's so many things that this program is doing right. Let's just hope that Josh Heupel, these changes he made this offseason, what he's got going on going forward, maybe he can continue getting this team in the right place and projected 2027, 2028 and forward. So
this is a very talented football team. This is a very, very talented football team, and we have a lot of depth at a lot of key positions. But one of the things that I'm unsure about, and I don't know if this is where you wanted to end it or if you wanted to transition.
Yeah, we're going to shake it out here, and then we'll do the defense on the next episode.
Gotcha. I was going to say I have some concerns about defensive line, especially defensive end. We're lacking some depth because, of course, once again, we made some really, really bad decision-making with our roster and our money expenditures, and we ran off two guys at defensive end that absolutely could have contributed this year, but we put all of our eggs in one basket with the Coleman kid. But so we'll hit on that one on the next go. But my last thing I'll say is I have been very, very vocal, and I haven't been on social media in a while, but before I had gotten off of social media with the Twitter and all that, my fingers were just burning up the message boards talking about, I doubt Josh Heupel. I do. And I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong, y'all. Look, I grew up watching us go from being on the cusp of truly being elite to being a national champion. And then almost immediately, almost overnight, we turned into a joke. I mean, you go from 98, 2004, 2005, it's over. It's over. And by 2000,
we made the SEC championship in 2007.
True. And they got cheated out of that game too, because that call on, I can't remember who the receiver was, but the backside receiver gets a holding penalty called on him against LSU in the SEC title game. And instead of 21-7 ball game, that's 21-14 ball game. We get the momentum, and LSU's not winning that game. I'm telling you right now, they're not with the momentum that we gain. But anyway, I'm getting, see, you love to bait me on these things. I know you do, but I hope sincerely that, oh my gosh. And so does Joey. Joey loves to bait me too.
Joe, I know that message right there. He's got laughing emojis under.
Yeah, but
that was a full-on bait.
I hope that Josh Heupel has learned from his clock management mistakes. I hope that he has learned from his not having the cajoolies when it matters mistakes. I hope that he has learned from the I guess you could call it like his brain just glitches out at the worst possible moment, and he does like some boneheaded stuff. I mean, we had 3 timeouts against Georgia with 1 minute and 15 seconds left. They had no timeouts. They couldn't stop the clock. And we had a first down from their 48-yard line. Like, come on, dude. I mean, come on. But like being at the inch line against Alabama, you run the football. You run the football. You just got 2 fourth down conversions on that very drive. One of them was 4th and 2. One of them was 4th and 1. I mean, and by
then they did the same thing against Oklahoma.
And then the next week, you go out and call the same stupid play. Well, maybe not exactly the same variation of the play action pass, but still the same concept.
Yeah.
You got to learn from these mistakes, Josh.
Well, it's not only that, it's time management. It's several of these things. And, you know, he looked himself in the mirror this offseason and said, we got to get better. We got to do things differently. I will give you full on credit. Excuse me, I just burped. But
for his actions,
full on credibility that he made changes that he felt like he needed to make.
For sure.
So, with that being said, we got to wrap up the show. We're great first show back in a while. I'm looking forward to next week. And it'll be maybe early week. What's today? It may be later this week. We'll see when we can get live. We're going to talk about the defense and talk about some of the dealt pieces there, and then I want to do a season record prediction before we start in 3 weeks. So with that being said, from Rocky Top Time, from Joey earlier, from Big Mike and all y'all in the chat, we appreciate all y'all. I want y'all to follow us and subscribe on Twitter at Rocky Top Talks 1. And then on YouTube here, follow us or subscribe to us, like and share. Give us a thumbs up if you like the content. Please do. That's what kind of drives the algorithm by giving us a thumbs up if you like the content. I'm not going to sit here and beg for it. And then go follow us on Facebook. Like and follow on Facebook at Rocky Top Sports Talk. I try to post on there anytime we go live what the content. And then during football season, I'm posting anything and everything about Tennessee football. So y'all have a blessed night. We'll see y'all next time on the show. As always, go Big Orange.
Go Vols.